Namaskaram. It is a great pleasure to be here in Columbus and at a Dhwani event to share some thoughts about an artist whom I have heard from his debut days. I know from experience, however, that introductions like mine can be a tricky business indeed. As I found out when many years ago, my mother introduced the legendary Vidwan M.D. Ramnarayan before a concert. She said that he was not only a grand musician of the grand school, he had a grand voice and sang huge, big, long, grand kritis. Like Pancharatna Kriti, Shri Subramanya Namaste, Meenakshi Memudam, and so on. Ramnarayan sir was listening to this intently. And then, on that day, throughout the entire concert, he chose to sing the shortest kritis he knew. Starting with a dwarf kriti like Sri Gananatham in Isha Manohari, then going on to Kanukontingi in Bilahari, and then a Samashti Charanam kriti, Sri Parthasarathi in Uday Ravichandrika. For all I know, Sri Vijay Siva may have the same mindset. However, I shall take my risk. Today, I will dwell on three aspects of Sri Vijay Siva's music that I find to be pervasive, consistent, distinct, and characteristic. So what do you notice in Sri Vijay Siva's concert? First, I would say clarity. A multiple clarity which includes features like Shruti Shuddham, fidelity to the Shruti, Laya Shuddham, fidelity to rhythm, Kala Pramana Shuddham, which is not always paid attention to, which is fidelity to the pace, Vak Shuddham, which is not common, clarity in enunciation, and Sampradaya Shuddham, which is an adherence to tradition. I'd add clarity of intention also. He knows what he's doing from start to finish. There is no last minute mess, no possibility at all. So his clarity of intention is obvious in the way he deals with the raga. That's the first thing we see. Some musicians are adept at concealing the raga for as long as possible, and they start with a sa or a re and keep on dwelling on it. And then, what raga is this, you ask yourself. Then you look at your neighbor, but her face also sports a blank look. But Vijay Siva puts you out of misery with the very first phrase. You know exactly what raga he's launching. As you will know, a raga is not a scale of musical notes, plain and simple. We all know that. Now, a human face has the same parts, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. But can two faces ever be the same? Each face is shaped in its own specific way, which is what gives each person his or her individual identity. So it is with ragas, and it takes a deep understanding to shape the same swaras with differing characteristics of each raga. And Vijay Siva is a master at giving those swaras their raga identity. He can do it with ragas rare and common, light and heavy, and the moment he sings the first notes, we know whether he is going to sing Arabi or Devagandhari, Shankarabharanam or Kamboji, and more difficult, Darbar or Nayaki. Think of the clarity of the mind which would know the minute anuswaras and their nuanced, subtle microtones. Then we come to the attention given to enunciation. Sahitya, the lyric, is supreme in Carnatic music. We worship the Trinity for their compositions. There is also a school of thought, however, that thinks that pronunciation is not at all important in Carnatic music. You can batter and misshape the words as you like or mash it into a huge pulp. My grandfather, Kalki, who was also a music reviewer, once wrote, and I quote him, I thought Tyagaraja sang only of bhakti. But when a Vidwan sang Sarasasa Madana, I thought, Paravaliye, Tyagaraja has written a love song about the god of love, Madana. Only later did I find out that it was Sarasa Samadana Bheda Danda Chatura, which was about how Rama was a past master in the 4 methods of correcting anyone. Unquote. At another time, Kalki described a Kriti whose words he heard seemed to sound like this. Po 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 po, ja 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 ja, tu 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 tu, chi 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 chi. Sorry, our Vijay Siva offers no such excitements. When he sings, each word in every song, any language, sounds clear as a bell. No riddles to challenge, no puzzles to solve. Since the songs in Carnatic music are couched in multiple languages, just think of the effort and the dedication that it takes. Then you have to see his approach to format and pace. We know that the kacheri that we have today was formatted by the legendary Ariyakudi. We all know that. It has a series of compositions starting with some speed and progressively getting more and more expansive. The pace is always brisk and mainly in the medium speed. Sri Vijay follows this kacheri format as his gurus mostly did. Not that he cannot sing a super slow song or alapana on occasion, as he demonstrated to us this very morning when he sang Kanjadalaya Dakshi in Kamala Marohari, a kriti which gallops like an Arabian horse in Srimati M. Subbulakshmi's repertoire and which glides like a swan in his Patantra. But what he has absorbed from his gurus and developed on his own is this. He creates a sense of balance, appropriateness, auchitya, where each step follows the other. His format has a natural progression which draws you to immerse yourself in it. It doesn't jerk you to gape at it from the outside. There are no fits of eccentricity in the name of genius. Nothing startles you. His concerts are well planned, well ahead, and with an admirable sense of time and a sense of timing, which is even more important. No, he will not waste any time of his own, nor will he waste your time, the audience's time. He has too much respect for you. And another notable feature in Sri Vijay Siva is, of course, you will all know this, his style. This is the age of technology, when so much music is so freely available that assimilating from multiple sources has become the norm. And what happens sometimes is that a musician presents what I call a collage or a montage concert. We get a ragam like K.V. Narayanaswamy, a kriti like Sambangudi, a ragam tanam pallavi like T.N. Seshagopalan, and so on. Not with Sri Vijay Siva. To hear him is to know exactly which school he belongs to. He has imbibed the classic depth of Srimati D.K. Pattammal and the emotional contourings of Sri D.K. Jayaraman. Mind you, he is his own man for all that. There is no mimicry at all. Sri Vijay has arrived at the way he presents his music today by relentless questioning of many accepted norms. It's not that he took everything that was given to him unquestioningly and mutely. He has also made his experiments, but these experiments were to convince himself, not as an attention-grabbing device. It was to find his own voice, his own métier. He firmly believes that compositions must be rendered just as he has inherited them from his gurus, and reserve his flights of imagination to the improvisational elements of Manodharma. So you will see a very clear difference between his Manodharma and his Kriti singing. Carnatic music richly provides opportunities for maintaining this contrast. Something I really wait for in his concerts is the Niraval improvisation, a very rare skill these days. After all this, are you surprised that a special hallmark of Sri Vijay Siva's music would be control, precision, and confidence? Once, a thematic concert with his music and my narration was delayed by quite a bit. The previous Vidwan wouldn't let go of the mic. I told him that I would cut my talk short to give him time to do the music as he had planned. He said, "No, I will adjust the music. You will see, you talk." what was admirable was that he was able to do this without compromising on the impact of his music. He proved to be a master at condensation without sacrifice of quality. Finally, we all know that we don't go to a concert only to hear a particular musician or music itself. We go to grasp the values that are reflected in the music that we hear. At the risk of sounding rather pompous, I would say that the art of South Indian classical music goes with Satyam and Dharma, truth and righteousness. Both in your approach to music, the listeners as well as the musicians' approach to music, and to life. Now, anything fake or artificial diminishes that impact, that greatness. And Vijay Siva remains strong-minded and stubborn in adhering to the values that he himself has built up. He sees himself, I think, as a custodian of the art he has chosen to practice and the culture that he represents. I know that he is genuinely committed to his faith. I believe that it is this faith that has instilled in him his liberal views and his Deshabhakti based on Gandhian principles. Like his gurus, he loves to sing Subramanya Bharati's patriotic songs with passion. In one of our joint programs, he moved a packed hall in the Kalakshetra Foundation, that was a huge audience, by singing Bharati's prayer to Allah. His social consciousness has made him take part in protest movements. He has braved arrests. And he has done all this without any fanfare. In sum, when we hear Sri Vijay Siva sing, whether it is a grand Tyagaraja Kriti or a philosophical Virittam or a Purandara Bhajan or a patriotic hymn, what we see, hear and feel are the bhakti of the saint composers inhering in them, not to forget the singer's own bhakti for his musical parampara and his tradition, his bhakti towards his guru, his society, his pride in his country and his culture. Panbad, they say in Tamil. For what makes Vijay justify his practice, I think again, is his conviction that music makes us, or is meant to make us, better as human beings. No surprise. It is, after all, part of Carnatic music tradition. Thank you.